Getting put with the children?
What?
Getting put with the children? Getting booted to the... Oh, yes. I think I'll leave that to you.
I'll leave that to you.
Yeah. You know what you're talking about more than I do. Good. How are you? Good. Yeah, me too. It's been feeling like a Friday. Like all week I feel like I'm on vacation.
Hello.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you for that.
Is it? What do we have?
No, Greg called me.
No. For my mom.
Greg coming? Yeah, I'll be there.
Friday night?
One thing I haven't, yeah, like $5 budget.
I know your house.
Lots of room,
Brush my teeth or something. All right, you know?
Bring my binder, something.
Yeah. No, I get that.
This is the only thing I use.
I know, I always have to ask.
It's the biggest one in the
You've been eating for something.
I brought my whole bag. Me too. They were important too. He was like,
Elementary school, high school.
oh yeah. So then when we got home, I sat down in the chair and but they had a good time.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. I'll accept a motion to approve agenda. Variance, I think.
Move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we will go to item 3 for the approval of the August 13th board meeting minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Do we have anybody that would like to speak?
I'm sorry, 1 second. Apologize. I do have a correction. On the back to school bonus, as me voting yes, I had.
I have an
Okay.
issue of saying.
You
Am I wrong?
to move the money,
Oh,
you
okay.
voted yes, and I think you abstained on the
Okay.
on giving it out.
Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you. Never mind.
Good.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Rather, it's all right. Okay, we'll move to community dialogue. Like to speak?
Nobody signed up.
Oh, okay. It is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we'll be next. So if we have no one else, or if nobody would like to speak, we can move to item 5 here, and that'll be Booster Club and USPTO. So go first. Everybody here for Booster? No? Okay. So USPTO can go.
Okay. I have to apologize. I don't have. So I'm going to go off. Hopefully, I remember the dates right. So we're currently doing our fall fundraiser, and that is the big fundraiser we do every fall with. And that's primarily the money we use. Grant. Last year, about 45,000 or so. As many. That closes next week, and then we will up and do limo rides and pizza. We are also still planning to. And then last year we weren't able to do holiday shop. We want to do that again. The kids really going to push really hard. So all these are the dates I'm not sure about. So the fall grants, I believe, we'll have a committee that consists of the board, I believe a teacher and a couple other, and we'll be able to be back into books. I love giving out. I think that that's the first half of obstacles on the last day of the school. Last year, instead of doing did like a CMAS, well, that again this year. And food makes everybody happy. So, but that's all I have right now. I apologize. I don't have. More I tried to log in, and more got locked. So, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Just off the top of your head, any idea on those?
I don't. I know last year it didn't come out with holidays. I move it back to us.
I'm Carol Ray.
Oh, sounds great. Okay.
If I may be out of town, but
Once
please let me know.
Questions?
All right. Thanks so much. Thanks for bearing with me.
Thank you.
Okay. Go to staff reports. Principals update.
Do it. You guys have missed me.
We have.
Buckle up. We got some time here. No, I'll try to be, I don't know, I always say I'm gonna get better at this. I always talk way too long. I did notes this time, try to be nice, but I always feel like I'm catching you guys up, like even going into last year, so. Got a fair amount of stuff. Somewhat organized. Middle school, since the beginning of the semester, a lot of things going on. A couple highlights that have jumped out at us. New math curriculum, iReady. Seems to be pretty cool so far. Neatest thing about that, essentially meeting kids where they are at. So highly individualized. As we'll dig into some data here and see that, well, we are trending in the right direction still, which is great. We've got some gaps. We've still got gaps. So trying to meet kids where they're at, trying to catch them up. Highlight, we finished last week our summer reading project, our all-school summer reading project. Thank you to Amanda and her team for supplying all those books, putting that on. Essentially lessons, organizing all that. Just so cool to see that value and see our kids into it, even though we did have some kids scrambling to get those books read. They did and took care of that, so that was awesome. So thank you publicly from me. As you heard, USPTO, we kicked off our Big Kahuna fundraiser. That's always pretty entertaining. We do thank USPTO for supporting our kids, supporting our teachers. They've been extremely generous in the last couple of years as far as getting those grants in our teachers. A couple weeks ago, our yearbook class went to UNC for a field trip with the actual high school class, as far as looking at exemplars and best practices with our yearbook. If you guys have seen our yearbook in the past, it's truly exceptional, the job that Maggie Miles and our kids do, especially how much we ask of the kids to put that together. Very little that she does other than put it in the kids' hands. And real neat, so neat. Awesome step for that. Jolene Tim out of our art department, she is our department, not out of our art department, our art department, just secured a donor's choice grant for $700. And she's going to put that to our 3D art class and supplement various materials for that. Get a chance, I think we're going to talk about you guys visiting, step into some of her art classes that she has changed around and focus on some different things. It's really cool. You guys know I always like talking about 3D printers. We got 2 new 3D printers in our STEM lab, so we've updated those. They're amazingly detailed and amazingly quick, which is cool. Ms. Keel is printing off some real neat new bulldogs for us. I heard a rumor we might be getting a few of those in the library, so we might see it. That is a new thing. And then the other exciting thing that we are getting up and running shortly is our laser engraver, which we didn't get to last year, but we're going to have one of those. We have it, we just need to get it dialed in and up and running. So just be ready for a lot of cool things going on in there. Upcoming things, our Scholastic Book Fair. We're going to run that the same week as our conferences, so October 6th, I believe. We'll have that up and running, so feel free to come check that out. Everyone's favorite corn maze visit out to Fritzler's, October 17th. We're making sure that we get signed up for that, so get that on the calendar. And then a couple that are a little closer from our counseling department. Tomorrow night, I know it's quick, a little too quick to probably tell you about it now, but Mr. Angus is putting on what we call the Mojo Night. So Mojo class is what's called a student success class that we put up for our 6th graders. So we cover things like executive functioning, organization, things like that. Essentially the lay of the land as far as teaching our 6th graders to be successful as they transition to middle school. Jeff Angus is putting on a class not for those 6th graders, but for the parents. Essentially give them a lay of the land. So Jeff and I will be hanging out with, I think we're up over 30 parents have responded that they're going to be able to come and join us tomorrow night in the library at 5 o'clock. So you guys always have things to do, but if you want to come swing by and hang out with us and check that out, we've been trying to get that off the ground the last 3 years, and we finally are, so that's really exciting. And then our other counselor, Ms. Reed, has a book study scheduled, and our first night of the book study is September 18th, and that is the book study on the anxious generation. And many of you and myself have talked about social media and some of the different effects of that, both positive and negative. I think it's very applicable to what we are trying to do. So if you'd like to be part of that, we still have some books left, and there's still time to get that first part of that done. So reach out, let me know, and I'd love to get one in your hand as we've got a little bit more than a week before we start that one. So you guys know I love talking about athletics. That's where we see lots and lots of our kids. Cross country is popular as ever. I was sitting in kind of our kickoff to their run yesterday, and I'm just amazed at when they're talking about an out and back as opposed to an actual loop, I guess we're calling it. And the out and back, you know, coach was pointing out that's only 1.8 miles, and apparently that's not a long ways for kids to run. It's a long way in my mind, but the short workout yesterday was 1.8 miles. The loop was over 3 miles, but you get a chance to check out these kids. They're very talented this year. It's a great group, top 3 so far in all of our meets that we've had, both boys and girls, which is line up. I don't know how they herd. It's like herding cats. I've heard me say that before. It's pretty amazing, but it's just neat to see our kids shine in that. Football is doing extremely well. If you happen to swing by the stadium yesterday, you saw us beat a team, both levels, especially in a thrilling game in the 8th grade game. We're not going to mention the name of the other team, but you can guess what team that is, one that we really enjoyed beating. Had kind of a controversial loss to Windsor. Windsor believes that you don't actually have to kick extra points, that you can just be awarded extra points. So they're sorting that out with the league right now. That's our only blemish on the record right now. So that's why Mr. Aragon gets paid the big bucks as the athletic director. It has now gone to a vote, which is kind of entertaining. Middle school athletics, but they're sorting that out. But both teams very talented. They'll be right in front again. And then volleyball, that's where we were tonight, playing Valley. Valley kind of had a little dip in their talent as far as volleyball. They're back. They're strong again. Back last year. And our 7th graders are working hard. They're getting better. Our 8th graders, I think they finished 2nd last year. They're picking right up where they left off. They'll be right in the hunt until the end. I will point out one thing. I received a card in the mail, and I'm always nervous about receiving cards in the mail because the public likes to tell me how to do my job and tell me most of what I'm doing wrong, because we're all experts. We all went to school at some point. So I'm always a little nervous about opening up letters from the mail. And I opened up a letter the other day, and essentially someone wanted to talk to me about our volleyball team. Well, are we talking about our team? Talk about middle school? No, very specific talk about the middle school. And as I went on in the letter, this was a community member who was sitting behind our girls who had attended the UNC CSU volleyball match, which was a really season match, and you guys follow UNC CSU extremely well. And this community member essentially was watching our girls, watching them cheer. I forget exactly how they phrased it, but something about acting silly at all the right times. And then they were extremely impressed with how they cleaned up after themselves and left essentially the arena as they found it. Felt strongly enough about this to let me know, and then have me let coaches know, let Michael know, and things like that, and most importantly, let the girls know. So I don't get letters like that too often. It's usually the other way around. And I was pretty darn pumped. It made my day. To sit the coaches down today when they came through before their game, when they were us, and then we're actually going to let them know we preach all the time about how you're representing university, both during the day, but especially when you're out in the community. Good chance for us to bring that to life for the girls. Props. And I believe the lady that had written the letter finished it by saying, "Bulldog pride is alive and well and good." I thought that was awesome. I wanted to share that with you guys. It's not always about wins and beating football. So just really, really neat. The other thing with athletics I want to make sure to bring up was that I always trying to find it. We struggle with time, but always trying to get different clubs and stuff off the ground, get involved outside of the school day. And we managed to get a middle school chapter of our FCA, or our Fellowship of Christian Athletes, off the ground. So they are regularly meeting on Friday mornings now. So we're excited to have that going. And then we just approved a gaming club to start meeting after school on Fridays. Newsroom. A bunch of kids excited about that. So slowly but surely we're continuing to provide more opportunities and more avenues for kids, whatever they may want to do. So extremely excited about that. All right, and I'm way over my time already, but it's cool. I'm going to finish up with a couple things out of classrooms, and I'm going to focus on 6th grade ELA, which is where I spent a fair amount of time this past week, and kind of two things stand out for me, and hopefully these are cool to you guys as well. In Ms. Doss's room, kids are getting ready to work on their short story unit, which a lot of different elements, a lot of different information, that they're pretty advanced stuff. And they're working on their essentially racer paragraphs. So recap, answer, cite, explain, or sorry, restate, answer, cite, explain, recap. Do this in science as well. And the kids were like nailing it. So then Ms. Doss is excited, I'm getting excited, the kids are getting excited, like nailing it, like way ahead of where we were. And I started asking them about this. Well, turns out 5th grade started teaching this last year. They just did race, not racer, but cool. We can add recap at the end, and like that's easy. So like so pumped to see this happening before, and we started talking about this, and we're aligning, and like now we're that much more ahead when we get them at the middle school. So seeing that in action, having talked about it, and like, oh my gosh, like I know it seems maybe like a little thing to everyone, but like so cool, so cool. So that was a little win, a minor win, but I loved it. And then the other one was next door in Libby Fisher's room. I brought just kind of a picture to kind of explain it. This is a display in Libby Fisher's room, and she calls it First Chapter Friday. And these are all different books. And she essentially spends a little time each Friday, and she reads an excerpt, picks out the book, she reads an excerpt from each of these books, and she asks kids in a Google form, so using technology, just quickly share their thoughts on it. She essentially tells them, did you like the excerpt, like the book, part of the book that I read, would you read this book, yes or no, and then give me like 1 to 3 words to describe what you heard from that book. And then you can kind of see underneath the books, she does a little word wall, word art with the kids, so they can then see that they contributed to this. Great way to show kids that like books are enjoyable, books are fun, it's not just something that you're doing for a class, things like that. Really see the kids get excited about this, and then coming back next week and like kids are actually like reading these books and checking them out and things like that. Just I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I'm so excited to see her doing this. So just 2 little pieces of what's going on in a little part of our building. So the last one's a fun one. I guess I'll just invite you, if you're down there, if you're dropping kids off in the morning, our 7:50 bell and our 3:35 bell might sound a little interesting. We've got a guess the teacher or guess the staff member contest going on each week, and I put up some different facts about various teachers. They know I'm doing this. I've asked them if they want to be part of this. So some like this is where you're born, kind of some mundane facts, and then some like kind of wild and wacky facts, just a way for kids to get to know teachers. Then they fill out a Google form and they try to guess who the teacher is. And then whoever guesses correctly comes down, they get a prize, we announce it, like that. But part of it, I've asked teachers, what would be your walk-up music? If you had walk-up music, kind of like for the Colorado Rockies and things like that. And then I turn that walk-up music into the first bell of the day and the last bell of the day, which could be very intriguing through our first like 4 walk-up musics of the year so far. But if you'd like to participate or you'd like to come be part of it, it's pretty neat. The kids get talking about it, and the kids are absolutely amazed when they find out who that teacher, who that staff member is. The other thing that's neat is when like they are literally grilling our teachers and staff members, like where were you born? And like the one this week, apparently our staff member likes crayfish, likes to eat crayfish or crawdads or something. They are literally asking the teachers kind of stupid questions, but they're engaged in that way. So we're going to keep that going through the course of the year, and just another level of getting to know each other down there at the middle school. So if anyone wants to be a celebrity participant in this too, we can definitely have a board member celebrity as well. So lots of cool stuff happening. Guys, as we'll see with our data as we go in here, like I said, before we dig too deep into it, continuing to trend in great directions, you'll see our growth. Very, very proud of what we've got there. We've still got gaps going back to time that no one likes to think about. But we are closing those. We still got a lot of work to do with that, but we're headed down that right path. We've got people in place. I always appreciate your guys' support, and you guys know, I think you know at this point, come down, hang out with us, have some fun with us, and all the ways to appreciate your time.
Any questions? All right, thank you, appreciate it. Move to the superintendent's update.
I'll let Kyle have all my time. I'll only talk about two things today. And actually both are, one is not elementary, but my experience is in elementary. I wanted to talk about how morning meetings and schools are going. So I've been able to make it so far through kindergarten, first grade, about one more second grade. I'm almost done with second grade. But it has been, it's like Kyle said, something that seems like a small thing, but it's such getting to hear the kids talk about what's important to them, watch them learn, be good listeners to each other, to like supportive of each other. It's been really great. Today I was in Miss Boy's class and they ended the circle with the person you're passing to talking to say something you appreciate about the person. And there were a couple of people that were like your shoes, or that's a nice dress, but almost like probably 20 of the kids said something like super authentic and profound, and it was really cool to see that they really are getting to know each other, really are building those classroom communities. I love a lot of time in the beginning, kindergarten, we'll talk about that when we get to reading. Kindergarten's been a challenge this year, so I got to spend a lot of time there. But it's really great to watch them come in and not have a lot of our kindergarten kids, unfortunately, with no skills to be able to do that. Like just getting them to sit on the carpet and be respectful of each other. And like, that's all they've had to, man, I don't know how anybody, they ever ask what job is the hardest in our building. Everybody has a hard job. I do not know how working teachers. But the team's been awesome this year, working so hard on it. But I really enjoyed, and I think, like, what a wonderful way to start a morning. We've struggled this year. I always have a couple kids, but this year we've really struggled with a pretty solid core of kids who are every morning coming in and trying to help comfort them and get them focused and ready to learn. I think the circles for them have been a really great way to sort of morning and feel comfortable, safe, those connections, so that when they come. So I've really enjoyed that. I'm gonna work my way through elementary, and then it's just a little harder with high school and middle school because they do them at certain days. Most part, a little easier to get into those. But I really enjoyed that, and I practice. So currently we do those. Most elementary teachers do them. Middle school does them pretty consistently once a week in Rising, and then high school. I'm excited to get to participate in some of those middle and high. I guess two other things I've seen happening this year in terms of restorative practices that are new this year. One, restorative entry meetings. We've always had re-entry meetings, but typically those have been pretty focused back. Here's your plan moving forward, here are expectations. Most of the time, scheduling we can get. And so this year at elementary, and we do at high school, fortunately we've had the most ones. But watching that process has been great, because the parents involved, the teachers involved, or the other staff member. We had one the other day that was in a classroom mate. So whoever the people are that are involved, we scheduled it so they're able to attend. And the kids really take center stage in those meetings. So they go through their sort of talking about what they did, why they did it, what they're willing, what they've learned, happened, what they're willing to do forward. So it's very much centered on the kid taking responsibility instead of the administrator sort of do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. So I think that's been really positive. We have had, like I said, we've had a couple at high school, but high school actually right now has our few. And then the other thing that has happened occasionally this year with restorative practice, or restorative circles. So if, for example, that a group of students, another student, or sometimes even the whole class, Kyle's been able to step in and help that teacher facilitate either a small group restorative conversation or a whole classroom event that happened. And it's really interesting, again, to watch right from the get-go. Our littlest kids learn to take responsibility for their actions and to take their own impact moving forward. So I feel like I said, we're super early in the process, but I think there's some promising things to look forward to there. And then the other thing I just wanted to show you probably saw a little bit of this data in the elementary update, but I wanted to just highlight a couple of things. One that I feel like ties directly to the work we've been doing together. So the top, these are just our numbers on our beginning of the year. So we always expect our beginning of the year numbers to be the lowest for the kids rate about all summer with varying levels of reading and support. But numbers are consistently gone up over the years. So you can see this is the percentages at or above benchmark, and then you can see the district average. So this is one of the lowest numbers we've had in kindergarten in a while. But then when we compare it to what everyone's looking like, we feel like our kindergartners are a challenge, but obviously that's a consistent pattern across the district. But the one I wanted to talk to you about a little bit was first grade. And if you remember, we decided as a group to try to build, decide to build a new room so that we could have 5 tracks of kindergarten, move into 5 tracks of first grade. Because when we looked at this data, those of you that were here at the time, those numbers were huge, and those numbers were mostly our kids that were drawn in first grade that didn't start with us in kindergarten. And we made a significant financial commitment to make that happen. So I was really pleased with just in a year, we only have 1 year data because we only have one group being through it. But you can see there's a pretty significant difference between, there we go, sorry. So this is last year's data. This is this year's data. So we're on the bottom both. So this year, our first grade was at 65%, and last year, not only were we a lot less, but that red is pretty staggering. That was at 30%. This year, we're only at 70%. So we're only a year out, so we only have a year worth of data to look at, but that's really promising to me that what we hope would happen is exactly good. Capture our kids in kindergarten, our teachers work so hard and do such great things with them, that then we'd have a lot less kids that needed that intervention coming in. And so I thought that was awesome. That's exactly what happened. So I think it was a good choice that we made, and I think definitely hopefully that financial investment will pay off. I also think that if you talk to any of our teachers, they'll tell you that 22 versus 25 is a difference, and they can really tell the difference between that. So that, especially in 3rd, 4th, and 5th, those 3 kids, 3 less kids, half all over the place. So I feel like that was a decision that was a good one, and I feel like it's really starting to pay off for us. So and sometimes you don't get to see the data on the decisions we made given on the money that we spent, but this was one that where even just 1 year out, significant kids that started with us in kindergarten and stayed with us versus the year before we brought in about the class. Somewhere around 25 kids is usually what we were starting, somewhere between 25 and 30 new first graders that we're starting with us. Great news. And I just want to celebrate all of that data is really good. Those are great beginning of the year scores, and And I'll just keep it at that for tonight. Thanks, I'll give Kyle my 10.
Do you have any questions for Jennifer? Okay. Great, thank you. Okay, we'll move to the business manager's update. Sue?
Okay, financials are in your packet. I'm presenting July tonight. It's just 1 month into the fiscal year, so it's 8.33% of our budget. General fund balance sheet, we have quite a bit of money still in accounts receivable. That means the things that haven't been paid as of the end of July were Ames reimburses us for some of the concurrent enrollment costs from the prior year. So I just had gotten a check, and that just turned out that it got delivered to middle school, and the middle school wasn't down there to get mail, so we didn't get that till August. So that's all been paid. Also, our capital construction is in there. I went ahead and approved that this year, so all that stuff has been paid in August and or mostly in August. So we'll see that. Down below, liabilities and fund balances, accrued payroll and benefits. We're just about $80,000 more estimated for that this year than we ended up last year, so that's pretty good. And then the grant deferred revenue, there's $11,000 in that. That at the very end of the year, USO gave $1,000, and so it was just back. That's being held. I assume there's plans. So, yeah. Yes. Yeah, that should be generally how that works. Yeah. So that left us with a $262,221 year-to-date surplus. So it's good. They're usually in the red in July, and that's mostly because we pay our insurance in July. This year we didn't get it. It's pretty good in July this year, so I'm happy with that. Not a lot of activity that goes on in July. Our revenues, good thing I saw 61% of our general fees have already been collected, as opposed to what we significantly more. Thank you for the efforts, the pictures happening a little earlier, and we got actually paid that night. So kudos. Had a nice surprise from District 6. They did pass on some oil and gas revenue to us for an expense about $69,000. So yay. So we have positive. We're in the black this year, or so far this year. Expenditures, again, not too much. We got a good start off salaries. Some of the larger percentages on there are just they're more upfront costs. June, July, August. Nothing. Capital fund. The grants accounts receivable on the balance sheet there, that's the rest of the best grants that we billed to District 6. We've received those dollars. Again, we got that in August. So that will disappear when August. On the profit and loss statement, we got some good interest on our money market. The MLO capital expenditures, that pretty much consisted of the Epic intercom system, so how sales, and so that was about $230,000 of that cost. The other things, the Parent Square software, those things are all things that you. One bonus, the bonus was paid out today. Thank you to the board for that. Audit is still happening. They're still asking me for some things, so they're a little bit behind. They'll catch up, I'm sure. And then one last thing, we are doing much needed upgrade to our chart. Our chart of accounts, when we started the software in 2008, great, we had 9 students, and it was on, I'm starting to run out of numbers. You have to follow a structure that our patient sets out, and now I'm starting to put things where things don't belong. So I've been asking the software company for several years to help me with that. So we were originally scheduled for the 19th of September, and then the implementation team said, no, we should probably wait till after your September. So now they're looking at, so we'll get payroll done for. They're going to have to lengthen the the number, they have to structure the whole thing. Luckily, I haven't used a lot of the features in that software, and so it actually is going to get like $1,500. So the good thing is I didn't expand, so it won't cost the school as much, but now that we are expanding and we're getting a large enough number, we're going to start using. So that's coming. Oh, yeah.
Do we have any questions for Sue? All right. Okay, we will move on to the consent agenda. There is one item, personnel. We have quite a few people on there, like coaches and monitors. One resignation.
Jennifer, can you explain the happening?
So we, in the past, have had lunch monitors and recess monitors. We did independent jobs. This year, we decided to combine the position. So instead of there being us, so now everybody has one classroom, and they bring them either to lunch and out to recess or go out to lunch. So instead of having like big provision, now they have their person. We wanted to build off these were way down, so we felt like we were making magic out there. We wanted to try to bring it inside. Magical. So we're off to a good start. I like that the kids have a person that they know, and then it's more about relationship. Either need help and I don't know you, so I'm ask, or why are you in the first? It's been that was.
Stop some.
We're really well staffed. So they really get grade levels, and that also helps. We get guys. Was all in his
Move to.
Roll call.
Carol. AJ.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Ron.
Yes.
Scott. Justin.
Yes.
Eric. Frank.
Okay, we'll move on to building corporation.
Good evening. Thanks for having us. My name is Rod Constance. I'm the president of the University Lab School Building Corporation. We like to ask for a moment of you guys' time every year just to introduce our board of directors and just talk to people about what the Building and Land Corporation is, what we do. Bit of a pass forward, but I will start. Rod Constance. I've been affiliated with the university for 14 years. Spent 2 terms where you guys are sitting, so thank you for your service. Nobody realizes how hard that job is, especially when things get hard at that job. Had a graduate 2 years ago. Now is a University Hawkeye, University of Iowa, and I got a junior this year in high school. So, Chris, would you like to introduce yourself?
So my name is Chris Hughes. I'm a proud graduate of this programs on UNC campus. I have served as the financial advisor to the Board of Governors. And now I'm the treasurer of the Building Corp. Any questions you have about the Building Corp?
Dana Jones. I started teaching here in 2002, and I taught here for about 5 or 6 years. And then I have 2 graduates from here. My daughter was in 2018, and my son started in preschool here. So both of them were lifers. Started as really a pre-lifer. I don't know what we call them. But he used to have preschool here, and he graduated in 2021. I also served 2 terms, so I do appreciate what all you guys are doing because it does get hard. And then I was on every other board that the have now on this.
A lot of time line judging.
And now I'm a line judge for the volleyball.
You do an excellent job.
Oh, yeah. It's so much easier when it's watching other people's kids. I mean, my husband and I truly love it. So, yeah. Thank you for all you guys do, though.
Our vice president is Blaine Lancaster. He had a prior engagement. He's got a son that's a freshman. We've got a lot of history here, and as a matter of fact, I've crossed paths and worked with a whole lot of you guys. Bill, spent terms with you. So the Building and Land Corp, we run into people all the time. They're like, "What is that? You have a what?" And so the University Lab Schools Building Corporation was established when the schools built in 2001. It was a legal entity that had to be created as a buffer between the bonds and the school. So literally the Building and Land Corp own the buildings and the land of the school. So the bonds are taken out by us and they're leased to the school. If I get anything technical wrong, Sue, please fix me. And leased back to the school. So the school pays us, we pay the bonds, and our intent is really, we're here to be advocates for the building and the land, to make sure the values stay up, to make sure nothing's getting crazy, the upkeep's done. A bit ago I said that our board is a bit of a passive board. Our only income is the school paying us, and that money goes right back out. Who does all that? So again, a bit of a passive board. Our only other income would be the gas and oil revenue that comes from owning the property, and that money traditionally is always just Sue requests it for capital improvements, and we write a check and send it right back out. It's not funny, Chris gave you a check today for $25,000 from the oil and gas funds. So, that's kind of what it is and what we do. A lot of people ask what the Building and Land Corp is, and it's really we're just here to look out for the best interest of the land and the building. The only thing we ask from the board is that you guys keep us abreast on capital improvements and things that you do. In the past, I think this board has been less passive or more passive. We want to kind of be involved and make sure everybody knows who we are and that we're here for you guys to ask questions if you have questions about us. I think we discussed 2045 is when the bonds finally get paid off here. When that happens, the building corp will turn over all of the assets to the school, and then this building corp will just dissolve. Profit organization that will then dissolve, and the school will then own everything. So when you leave here, if you're looking on a really good board to be on, that's a good one.
I will be
And I think
I will not be here.
and I believe there were 2 representatives as a joint or as a liaison. I think now. I think Brian, you're one of them. Is that correct with us? So we have an annual meeting we meet at. We'll be happy to invite you guys. Really, our meeting goes through the budget and approval, and again, who does all the work and make sure that all the checks and balances work. We approve that budget when we re-elect officers, and we discuss the capital improvements and things that have happened or that are going to happen, and just trying to stay on the same page with everybody. Chris, do you have anything to add to that?
You covered it.
Great. Well, thanks for having us here. We appreciate what you do. We really do, and keep the good work.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay. We'll move to school performance framework.
You've got a copy of our framework in the packet. Like this. So lots of data, lots of stories to tell here. I'll just hit a couple of the highlights. Last year, our points earned, we were at 62.7. So heading in the right direction. We continue to move up a little bit each year, and that's tougher when you're in the performance realm. There's not as much movement to be had. You can see over on the side the different designations that school can get, from turnaround to priority improvement. We are again in performance. I just wanted to hit some of the things that helped make a little bit of progress. So changes from last year in academic growth. We went from made improvement with our students who were free and reduced lunch eligible. We made progress with our students with disabilities. In math, we made progress with our students with disabilities and in our multilingual learners. We in CMAS math. We made meets for our minority students, which was a level up. We leveled up in science for all students and our students who qualify for free and reduced lunch. Those both moved to meets. And in PSAT, in both reading and math, we're approaching to meets for all students. So those are the ones that sort of changed enough. We moved up a category that helped us get from that 62 to 63. I think that in terms of big picture, biggest growth, high school made a lot of really good progress in science. They didn't have anything that does not meet. Everything or either meets. We have one approaching. We continue to do really well in PSAT math. That was a change a few years ago, and that continues to be trending upward. Our high school math department continues to just get stronger and stronger every year. We're really happy with the math teachers that we've recruited the last couple of years in math. Really strong. As you know, if you look at it from the elementary, middle, high level, those numbers change pretty consistently. When you're down, it's easier to make significant growth, and so then they get more scores. Next year, that levels out a little bit, and then so high school made the most growth this year. That's because they had the most growth to make from last year. So those are ratings, but that does vary a lot depending on where your scores were the year before and how much room you have to grow and how easy it is to grow. But overall, I'm doing pretty well. I'm happy. I feel like you put this out most years. I'm happy that we had more students with disability categories that were either approaching or meet. There have definitely been years that we've looked at this, that all of our students with disability categories. I'm really happy to see that we're making progress there. We also have a tough time because it's a small group. With our minority students making progress, and there were a couple of those that were increases. So those are kind of the big picture things, but I'm happy to talk about anything that you'd like to. I echo what Kyle said. There's a lot of really positive things in here. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those 9 categories that increased from last year, but there's still room for improvement here. We don't like to see anything in the red, and we definitely have math still elementary and middle to make a ton of progress, but still room to improve there. And the other place that I think if you look at one category that was really strong, I think the other place that we were really strong was in that you look at post-secondary and workforce readiness. That's close to the end. There's no red on that page. That's all either, and there's not even very many of them. Most of them are meters. And so I think that's, if you think about where we want to end and what we're trying to build towards, I think it's positive that that's where some of our strongest performances And I love that also how low our dropout rate remains. So not only are our kids getting better, they're also staying. But sometimes some schools, their data looks good at the high school level, but it's a dropout rate. So I think it's great that we're having a higher percentage of retention. Steve, next. Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting to see where our numbers shake out right now. Early in the last 3 years. Sure, last year we were way above this year. I feel like maybe this is either 2 or 3 that we had far exceeded ours. We had pretty solid history going last one for a lot of reasons, but a lot of them indicated either curricular opportunities at other schools. That is more very few. The 2 things they still talk about. Project. It's enticing to kids. Oh, I'm a sophomore and I've already to go to this school and have already met. Those numbers have changed pretty drastically, at least the last 3 years. And so we're going to have to probably, like we've talked about, we're probably going to have to level. Usually in a month. That's great from a budget standpoint, but that's not great from a class is scheduling person to keep really hard to class to
What do you anticipate new math curriculum?
Maybe. I think probably the thing that will be hardest with that is the scope and sequence. When we teach things, like my son, for example, the other night, I can tell most of the concepts super unfamiliar. Teacher about stepping stones are last introduce what most of us would call math. They didn't introduce that until that. I already introduced it. So the 5th graders are working. I already so talk about that. They've had to really go back. And I think that's how. So there might be, but I also think that, like Kyle mentioned, the individualization that program provides, I feel like is going to help. So we'll see, but I think it probably I think how quickly they will grow based on level. I feel like it's probably going to make up for the changes. We could. You're right. It's, but I feel like they're moving a little more like they're dying. Online part a little bit of time. I also like it seems based on their games based things seem to be a little more relevant. And I felt like sometimes with Reflex, Prodigy, or some of the class, sometimes. And so they would figure out pretty quickly how to get enough answers, spend the amount of time in their home and their animals into it. Like, so I feel like I already controls that a little bit better. We'll see. We did have really good alignment. We don't have anything to sort of triangulate the data with math. Reading with really good alignment, closer than with NWA. Civils are iReady. What I showed you was civils. We also diagnostic tested. We had really low scores on both of those. In the past, we had some kids who were really different. So I feel like the diagnostic I don't remember the numbers of, but the sample size already is. So I feel like those tests are a little bit better. So, we'll see.
Do we still have strong after?
Not as strong as it used to be when corporate was running it. So I don't think it's restricted now. I don't.
Have one person do that. He'd be the one.
Yeah.
So.
Like I said, we are so fortunate, the middle and the high level, the changes we've made. We have some really wonderful.
Questions? Okay. We'll move on. School visits. All a while since we've had a
So,
round of visits.
the only thing that's a little different on this schedule is they're not at this. We tried to schedule them in so that you could see rising and see circles. I feel like he wasn't necessarily a part of your education that night. So we tried to schedule times that you could work on your curriculum. So that's the only thing I would just. And don't feel like you have to go only this one time. Do them, you rotate. Don't worry. Only your first.
Like a 405.
The other reason we did that is you might like to go up. So high school has a walking meeting every day. Levels, really long. And it's a good time. So we'll just pass that around. Whatever works for you, and if none of them work, we'll have another option.
Excuse me. Go ahead and move on to superintendent's goals. There is the one pager here. Oh, I apologize. I only sent 2 and I intended to send 3 total goals from the board. I left out personnel and leadership development. Strengthen staff aligned with your vision, consistent one-on-one coaching, target professional development, where necessary personnel changes. So, I don't know how I missed that whenever I sent my email this week, but I would like to add that as one of the recommendations of the board. But open for discussion.
Can you read that third one again?
Yeah.
Yes, so it'd be personnel and leadership development, strengthen staff, alignment, vision, consistent one-on-one coaching, targeted professional development, and where necessary, personnel. Sorry.
The document you emailed, both of these,
Document I emailed was interview review. These are her goals. So that was the end of your review was close for providing goals. So now we're focused on the goals. So this is through, so this first section above recommendations from the board is pulled straight from the plan. So this is just the next phase of that strategic plan that Jennifer's working off of. So it's a 5-year plan. So consistent progress plan.
And those are
So-
things from
Like some of them are very, like they're clearly measurable. Like implementing Parent Square was one of the goals last year that was needed to happen, and it happened. Some of them are more making progress within that. Yes, some of them are measurable. Not all of them.
When you're approving the goals, you're looking at the 3 at the bottom.
For this
To
year,
the
correct. Sorry, it's probably not fair to you. I don't think I emailed you her review, so.
we haven't.
So no.
We didn't approve. The top ones last time. Okay.
That was probably it. Okay. Did everybody see the review? Have permission for it? Because nobody responded, but
I requested the permission. I think I got it.
okay.
As far as we're wanting that to move forward, but we'll.
Yeah, that one last week or before.
And I think that'll be a living. Okay. Questions? Discussion?
Motion to approve the. I would maybe, and some of this is also building your tasks, right? Especially as we have some sustainability things, you know, you do a great job in opening some that.
Well, and I specifically, Justin and Scott and I talked about the fact I don't know that that's super feasible this year because all of those grants were significant matches. Like for example, the Smart Lab. Much was significant. Where these funds, which we no longer have. I don't anticipate that looking the way it has the last couple of years, simply because we had several sources of revenue to use for the match. And those. So we will definitely keep working on it, but it's totally unrealistic. I think in the next several years. So I'm happy to keep it there. We will definitely keep working on it. We work hard on it. We apply for anything that's out there, but match will be a significant detriment.
Not all at once.
I will motion to approve, or make a motion to approve the goals as.
Just adding the third one.
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. David? that?
But he asked for discussion.
I did.
Nobody said it.
You want
No.
to discuss?
Go back, yeah.
We're open to discuss still. We haven't voted. Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're up first. AJ.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Justin.
Yes.
Eric.
Yes.
Frank.
Yes.
Amanda.
Yeah,
For sure. And Ryan.
yes.
Alright. Motion carries. Okay, we will move on to board communication. Oh, I know. All the flies are.
I know. It was over here a little while ago.
I know, it's been like 3 for a second, so. Okay. I don't have a whole lot. It feels like things are moving very fast and there's a lot going on, so beginning of the year. My kids are loving school, so I have noticed that there's a lot more homework in 5th grade than there was in 4th, so Jackson's struggling a little bit with that, but he's getting into the rhythm of it. Have one student on student council, which is pretty exciting, so it's pretty cool to see her on there. So, other than that, I don't have a lot, so we can move on to board communication. Carol?
I don't have much. Been attending some of the sporting events. Volleyball. Hear all the questions. Meet with our 2 student reps, and I'm really excited because they seem very excited and wanting to know. Kind of set up a meeting time where we meet before board meeting and kind of go over the agenda next month. And the most exciting thing is
That's really awesome.
it's awesome.
Thank you for doing that, Carol.
I don't really have a whole lot. Just a comment, I guess an observation from the way we handle the voting is on the year I've been on the board, it seems like it's been inconsistent with the chair voting. It's been, when I first got on, we said, oh, if we have a 5-5 tie, what do we do? And then we said, well, Robert's Rules of Order state that the chair only votes in the case of a tie. And so we did that a couple of times, I think, and then now we've just been having the chair vote. So we inconsistently apply a rule, and it could open us up for instance of a tie. We haven't been doing things one way or the other, then what process would we actually follow? So again, just an observation, clarity there, or board policy, or just follow Robert's Rules of Order. Bylaws state that we do follow, so.
What are those state?
What?
What is it? The chair doesn't vote?
The chair's not a vote.
Our bylaws say we.
Yeah, so the chair would only vote in the instance of a tie. So then therefore you never get yourself in a situation where you have a because you have an odd number. Or just wouldn't vote, or the chair would vote.
I had not noticed that, so thank you.
Yeah.
It's still falling.
Yeah, because there could be a board member missing, we have 6 of us then.
All right. Go ahead, Bill.
3 things. I actually have an extra copy of Robert Rules of Order. Donated. I'm not using it. And pass it on to presidents.
That'd be awesome.
I'll bring it. Number 2, I'm really happy with Dana. I have no idea, guys. Dana served in almost everything for the board across the board, except for president, right?
Right.
No president. Chris
We mentioned the financial advisor, first advisor, walk. I can't, go into great detail what happened. Thanks to these people here, we only have an auditorium with them fitting us a little corner of the playground, their property. Anyways, Rod, those of you who don't know, Rod in his first term is on the board of governors, given vice presidents, and then within a couple months, our president won. Guys, I'm really glad they're here. These are long-standing sports. So thanks for coming, guys. Number 3, I was by his brother, who's an attorney with me, that one of the students in high school, I haven't got the name, has inquired as judges. So Patrick, his brother, who told me that they want a mock. We used to have one until COVID killed it. Mr. Uribe was running it, but or what have you. We tried to get it going. Casey looked. So I'm sort of throwing it at you. This is a situation where the hardest thing for a mock trial to get can find one. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out who this. Talk about it. Not too late this year to do it. Want to do it? Competition's February, early mid-February actually. You pretty much have to get it signed up. Start training October, November. One of those where you do it, and if someone wants to put on. Four other attorneys willing to step in. All with I'll have. Anyways, that's all I got.
I guess I'm up. Apologies again, I was late. I'll just share from the fundraising side. My kids were the prizes they came home and so they are achieving goals, and also on the sports side, my son, the 10U actually flag football team puts on, but it's comprised of 11 all university. Many of them all passed. All together, they talk cool. It's together and represent well there. I also was unable to put junior wrestling gathering, but I heard that was well attended. Good energy out of that. That's all I have.
Got home today and there was a Smurf dinosaur on my table. That was very interesting. Very strange places. Okay. On a more serious note, when the events to our south, I am just super grateful. Total confidence. Today I'm especially. And I don't want it to sound repetitious, but I am really just staff, volunteers.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been fun. It's back to marching band season, so sons in football, and or at least trying your list to do that, But anyway, they're having a lot of fun with it. Did have a chance to meet with Jessie, who's taking over on the internship program. She came in, and that was a great meeting. And we do a lot of internships, and had a lot of years of this, but we've had a lot fewer during the summer from university schools, but or from. But I'll tell you, the ones when we do an internship, I can't have them working on Class 1 Division 1 close that are going out on, right? We can't have them working on a lot of, but we can have them working on projects that give back to school. We can have them working on projects that give back, or we can have them exploring projects that help them figure out if they're on the right track. But one of the things we've learned that works best, we have several students who can do that exploration. And so I'm really excited having Jessie involved, because she's like, okay, that completely makes sense. How do we do that? And I mean, I remember back to one of the first summers we did it, we had 5 engineering students, 5 business students, 1 creative. We built a company within a company, and it was an awesome experience. And so I look forward to being able to do more of that. So I really like that's going. So that is. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm hoping we'll be meeting up at UNC's entrepreneurship program here a week or so. Hopefully, we'll get some opportunities again. I know there's a number of scholarships already being kind of laid out for programs. So, hear more about that for this year. We gave away well over $20,000 worth of scholarships. We have a great chance. Yeah, I think other than that, nothing on the joint use. We've got a meeting next week, I think. Yeah.
Have a curtain bid.
Amazing.
You showed up
Talked about this
here
for a while.
Yeah.
like a year and a half. You came.
Awesome.
So just to kind of back off, what was talking. But that was so much fun. Then I had a question about like, do we need a lot of even on especially
Middle school stuff.
We used to do it at the high school. Haven't, not since COVID.
when we did the book reading. So
I need to do it at the middle school because the first day of the freshman, they're pick a pathway. So really,
and pick your job as well, you know, like seems young, but I guess I want to say how appreciative I am of the relationships that we have with teachers, and my daughter's a senior and realized or else she had her program games. Thank you for keeping a positive relationship with District 6 and letting our kids have those opportunities. I don't know if as older you realize how many opportunities that they really, and maybe that's why we're retaining. You know, we looked at maybe Greeley West when she was lots more opportunities, maybe at a bigger school, but we're so glad we stayed with all the other opportunities. Parents don't.
I don't have a whole lot, just stuff for the foundation going on. We're raising money for the that MLO deficit for the field trips, right over about a $700,000 check over here soon, so that we can get you guys to start handing that out. We're about halfway to where we need to be, but some of our reoccurring fill that gap, but we're still proud. Meeting with a group of retired, but that's
You better watch out.
retired instructors. They, you know, the group that was here, who was really championed the naming of the building after, it is really a lot of motivation behind them and a lot of really trying to push for us to fund. So we are in the process of developing a legacy fund for Greg as well. That will not only fund the monument sign and the signage for that building, those will be the first dollars in, but really wanting to raise some big dollars, wise a perpetual fund that will fund things that he was involvement, different things like that. So we're in the process of developing that fund out and looking at some larger fundraising for that. And then we are also, as a foundation, working to together a meeting with all the fundraising entities, so USPTO, Junior Bulldogs, Boosters, getting everybody together and seeing what sort of joint activities we can do in that. And then just because of timing and other things, we weren't able to get the golf off this fall, but it is pushed off to the spring. So we will be putting together the golf committee golf tournament. So
We have a report for capital planning.
I sent over those concepts.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Frank. Reps. Lily?
So just as a student, I do mock trial in high school, and I always wanted to do it, but we've never had a team, so I think that'd be really cool if we brought that back. And then other than that, I think as much as like students complain about school and how much they don't want to go, I think it's really good that we've gotten back to school and like into our routine. So I think it's.
I feel like it's still the first week of school. I'm kind of still getting into that rhythm. Just like Lily said, like my sister did mock trial as well, and I think it'd be a wonderful opportunity for a lot of students. Just good team building and just fundamental skills, I feel like. Just a good team to be on. I feel like students are finally getting in like the groove of things now. Getting to classes on time, stuff like that. Yeah, I feel like school year's starting strong.
Good to hear that.
Yeah, homecoming is soon.
It is like.
It's coming up.
Already here.
What is it? 10 days? Oh gosh, that's crazy.
So what's the plans for homecoming week? Do you guys have all your spirit
Yeah.
out? And
Do you guys want to hear them?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Tuesday is staycation, so like pajama day. Wednesday is Big City Day, so I Heart New York, dressing as a tourist. Thursday is ski or surf, so that's, are you going to the slopes or are you surfing? And then Friday's Bulldog Day. So, yeah. And then we have students helping that Saturday to decorate the halls, and then that Friday before that week too. So, yeah.
Fun week.
Yeah, it'll be a busy week.
Yeah, for sure. Bill, I think you have the support.
Need a teacher to help.
Yeah.
By the way, the outlay is nothing. The attorneys do it all. 5 years, we needed money for a bus to go to Fort Collins once.
Not bad.
So I
back then fine.
No pressure.
See what Dennis is doing, maybe
It's like a job in a bus.
Oh. Awesome. Okay, our next regular board meeting will be October 8th. Same place at 6 o'clock. Then we'll move into executive session here for a personal matter and grievance. So pursuant to CRS,
Yes.
do they have?
Yes.
You ask them to read first. Okay. If you don't mind, sorry.
Thank you all for having us.
Thank you. Thanks for what you do.
Yes, you will. And I'll be here this time.
well, no more COVID.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my gosh, that was the worst. Are they?